Hello and welcome to the Days of Green. This is the Adventures of Zira. And we are just checking to make sure we're sounding good real quick. Make myself comfortable.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. Whew. Mixture sounds.
Yeah, I think everything sounds good. Our voices are coming through pretty
Cool.
well over the music.
Oh, perfect. I know the music is not like going crazy right now.
It might be a
It's like a
little
lot
loud.
softer. Me.
Both of us.
Okay. I'll bring my dial down just a little bit. Cool. We're getting this.
Is it the top or the bottom? I can never remember.
It's the top one. We're gonna
Top one.
Don't turn it too much. Just a little bit. Cool. Yeah. Welcome to the Days of Green, the Adventures
Okay,
of Zira.
let's see how this
We are going
is
to be
now.
getting started soon. So we have a little bit of an earlier start than our usual times. Usually we go at 8 o'clock. That's after my wife gets off of work and we put the kids to bed. But today she's not working late. And
Yes.
our kids are babysat. So we have some freedom. I'm going to go ahead and start off with reading a quick scripture, and then we'll go ahead and go into our gaming. You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. Before a word is on my tongue, you hem me in behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? Cool. And then we'll go ahead.
Amen.
Yay! Cool. This should be fun.
Yes. I
I
think I
believe.
finally found the right knob.
Oh, yeah?
My bottom is your top.
Oh.
I was like, why isn't it changing? It's still so loud. But I think I've got it.
I don't know if that's correct, Christine. Okay. You ready? Don't mess with it too much. I'm going to take a look at it real quick.
Okay.
And then see, make sure you're good. Yeah, that's good. Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
I know I tend to be quiet, but I don't want to be so loud that I'm...
I know. Okay, so we are playing DC20, a gaming system that we really enjoy playing. We've changed out from doing D&D to doing DC20. I'm going to go do a quick rant about it. If you're curious about a new gaming system, try out DC20. We play a lot of just similarities of D&D and similarities to D&D, and then we utilize a lot of the abilities of the DC20 to kind of make our game more and stuff. So all story-wise, D&D has always been the same. Like, you just create the stories, and then you have somewhat of a battling mechanics. And D&D has always had a challenge for battling mechanics, and so it's good that we've kind of pulled away and been able to go into this newer system because their battling mechanics are a lot better to run through. It's easier to comprehend. You're not being confused on like what's going on. And then also being able to take turns within your guys' turns, or just understanding that. So.
It fixes a lot of different mechanics that, D&D were kind of short on. It's still in process of being made. We are in the beta phase right now. So things are a little bit flux, but it is a lot of fun to play. We have enjoyed building our characters. We took our old D&D characters and just basically transferred them over to DC20 and kind of filled out our sheets with them. It was a little bit of an adjustment period, but anything new is always going to be an adjustment, and I think we've all really been enjoying it so far. It's definitely a lot more simplistic. You don't have to roll 60 dice to figure out what your damage is. It's a lot more straightforward, and that's something I do enjoy about it. Things flow a little bit better, I feel like.
Yeah, things will flow a lot better. Yep. So, like I said, if you're interested in doing some different kind of, like, other than D&D, move into DC20. I highly recommend it.
Mm.
We have the link down at the bottom and stuff. You can follow it, or you can just go to the coach's site, the DC20 site, and get it. But yeah, I mean, if you want to keep your similar gaming mechanics with D&D, but you're curious to kind of step it up a little bit, DC20 it's not too complicated to get into, and for us, like we're not big on the rules or anything, but we kind of been able to pick it up. Yeah, we've been able to pick it up. So, yep.
We are definitely still learning. I usually have over my laptop here, I've got the rule book. So I'll be looking stuff up every once in a while. Like, wait, how do we do that again?
Yep.
But yeah, no, it is a lot of fun, and it's nice that there is a PDF version so that we're able to easily access and look up different rules. That's something else I appreciate about it.
I can get my self set up. It's always like the hard part is kind of getting comfortable.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, so
yeah, readjusting
make sure the mics and everything
yeah.
are set up good.
Make sure we have all of the dice that we need, and character sheets and pencil. You always need a pencil, right?
Yep. Let's go ahead and start off by running through what took place in the past, or what has taken place in the past somewhat. And then we're going to go ahead and take your thoughts on circumstances, okay?
Okay.
So you guys are obviously inside of GalDoom, okay? So GalDoom is a gigantic prison. Try not to talk too much because I get tired when I talk too much. Like, let me explain this and this and this and this. So GalDoom is a gigantic prison for Methdoom, okay? So originally what happened was, in Methdoom, they had a god a long time ago, okay? And this god gave them light so they were able to see. And it also kept a lot of the creatures out of their city, a lot of these Underdark creatures. But something happened, and the doorway to Methdoom was opened, and that god was let out. And with that, they went into turmoil because they did not have that light source or that power. And so they were scrambling. They were a gigantic city, one of the biggest cities in the Underdark. And then the Drow had moved in. A lot of creatures, a lot of things had come in and attacked them, and they were constantly afraid of what could be coming and lurking. But then the Drow came, and the Drow offered them a promise of like some kind of a god to take the place, that it will give them the light, and it has the spirit of Methdoom. And they bought into it, but what they didn't know, it was actually a prison. And so they came in and they brought in this gigantic ship. And what I believe happened is that they utilized parts of the old god to carry it into Methdoom. Okay? So it's a castle on stone wheels, and it traverses through Methdoom, and it smashes over anything it wants to get to one side of the Methdoom to the other side. And then it utilizes the slaves within, which are the captors of Methdoom, people who try to fight against or try to do anything what's called, or people who, you know what I mean, are against the Drow in any ways, or they utilize them to do the work, to mine the walls and everything. So yeah, they are this somewhat prison / castle is where Zira is in right now. We also know that she has a couple friends with her. First of one is Tdog. Tdog is a goblin. He is a little bit crazy.
Just a little.
Just a little bit crazy. He's crazy, and he is from the Underdark. And you also have Quando, who is also from the Underdark. She met him in Lager's Dive as they were descending down from the Underdark to the Underdark. That's where they met. He is somewhat kind of probably the most trusted a little bit.
None of them are really super trustworthy.
Yeah.
He's been a little bit more straightforward about like what he is after.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess of the three that I'm with right now.
Of the three that you're with,
even though Toggle strongly insists that I don't trust him. Yeah, none of them are really trustworthy.
Oh, none of them are really trustworthy. And then also you have with you Ilzarin, which is the newer team member
I don't
of
trust him at all.
Team Zira. She hates him, and she has every reason to hate him. I've given her enough.
Well, he's a
given her
drow.
enough.
That's all.
He is a
That's all we
drow.
need.
Yep.
It doesn't matter that, he was basically a prisoner of his own people. I could really care less, or I should say, my character could really care less. The only good drow is a dead drow. So.
Yeah, is that your saying?
Yes.
Is that your catchphrase?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. That is my life motto. Like.
Yeah. See if I can. There we go.
It's the only thing that has kept me from killing this drow is the fact that Kwando seems to think that he is going to be our only chance of getting into Menzoberranzan.
Yeah. So basically, you picked him up because he knows the layout, he knows the entrance. If you guys ever try to enter into Menzoberranzan, you'd be swept up like real quick.
Yeah.
So
That's the only reason why
he is
he's
a
still
drow,
breathing.
and yeah, and he has.
And it might not be enough.
Yep.
If he keeps talking the way that he's talking.
You know, I'm afraid of it. What's gonna happen? I'm not too afraid. I actually have some confidence in what's gonna take place.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I do. Cool.
He's kind of been a jerk lately, so I don't know. Zira might just.
I'm trying to balance him out. It's hard to kind of for me personally, I try not to play too much of a bad character, even though I have to play a bad character. I like to make it quick and simple, but this is the longest I've played a jerk of a character. And
he was quite a jerk last week too.
Yeah.
I was seriously ready to just cut him down a few inches.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm curious on this. Oh gosh.
Well, he doesn't need his legs to show us the way through Menzoberranzan, right? Or his arms.
So this is the circumstance in which Ilzarin is in. He is plagued by Zira.
I don't think he understands just how thin of ice he's actually walking on, or he doesn't care how thin of ice he's walking on. But I don't know. Kwando is lucky that I trust him as much as I do, because honestly.
Okay. So you have your team somewhat, and you guys have made it into GalDoom. Okay, you were able to grab one of the Methdoomers that were one of the slaves and bring him with you to the upper chambers of the castle of GalDoom. Okay, and because it seems as though only them, because they are blessed or they have the blood of Methdoom, that the feather only works with them. If anybody else were to touch it, they were to instantly fly up to the roof and crash and smash into little pieces. So I don't know where that came from, but I decided. But yeah, you have the person with you as well. Your team is just a little bit beat up. I think Ilzarin is pretty hurt, pretty bad, because I think he was attempting to kill himself within the chamber of the dome of the symbiote spider. So,
yeah, I wouldn't let him kill himself though, because that would be too easy.
Yeah. And then he kind of
if he's going to be killed, I want to be the one killing him. He's not allowed to go out a hero.
Okay. Yep. And so, yeah, you guys are in the upper chambers. And what are you thinking as a player? Let me ask that. Okay. How are you feeling?
As a player, I'm looking at the fact that they changed the rest points formula, so that way I actually have more rest points.
Yeah, there's some rule changes. We are going to get to them after we play through GalDoom.
Yes.
Yep, we got some reading to do. We're going to take a little bit of a break, hiatus.
Well, I think we talked about playing out different aspects of it, right? And talking about it and doing a little test
I was
play.
curious to kind of go through and just read through the book.
I was going to throw stuff at you, and you were going to try to fight me.
Yeah, we haven't decided it yet. So if you want to decide it right now, then we can decide it right now to do that. I
don't mind playing a monster. I can play a monster.
She likes playing monsters. She's ran a couple monsters against me,
yeah.
and I'm like,
yeah, I ran one monster, and
Yeah,
Only,
she does.
only by my grace did he actually
She has
survive.
less mercy than I do. I have more mercy for her. She's like, cool, let me just kill you as much as possible. And it's like, oh, I feel bad now. Okay, I guess I'll.
Pretty much.
And
I'm
I'm like, I used up all my spells. I used up all my this.
like, oh, you found the right pebble. Good job. Okay, you win automatically.
Yeah. At
uh,
the, what I like about the DC20 and stuff, the story wise, is that you can run away. You don't always have to battle. You know what I mean? I think D&D locks you in. That's what was my biggest um, complaint about D&D was that it feel like you're just locked into a battle and that's it. You have
yeah.
to fight or
Well, and yeah, the nice thing with the DC20 is you actually have defensive actions.
yeah.
Like, you think about reality, real battle. Okay, you're not just gonna stand there and take a hit. You're gonna try to dodge it. You're gonna try to block it. You can
Yep.
do all that stuff, right? And that's something that DC20 allows you to do. And you have more than one action on your turn, and you can also take actions in between turns. So it's nice that you actually can block or dodge and still be able to do other stuff. That's something with D&D. It's like, okay, well, you can either do this or you can do that, but you can't do both.
Yep.
And DC20, it's like, oh yeah, sure, if you want to block this action and then when it comes around to your turn, then attack them and then disengage and run.
Yeah.
Like you can do all of that stuff on one turn. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so me as a player, sorry.
Yeah, you're going off on a tangent. I'm kidding.
Well, I
Go
was
ahead.
talking about the rest points, and then you went off on
you guys have locked and barricaded the door behind you, okay? So let me go ahead and actually put this in here, and we're going to go through here. And pull this down. Cool.
Okay.
So yeah, you are, I'm just going to pop you in here, and that's it for now.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, gosh.
Oh, my. It's a much larger map than what I realized.
Yeah, pretty much. That I have.
So what I'm thinking as a player, I know Zira could probably use a break. Elzarin could use a break. Everybody could use a break. Of course, my biggest concern is I can't just sit around and twiddle my thumbs too much because there are people outside that are going to be affected. All of the slaves that are in the main hall of GalDoom are there. Half of them are now in revolt. And of course the Drow are not
You
just
can
going to
hear
sit
it
idly
down
by.
the stairs and stuff like that. First, you hear like a lot of banging at the door from the Drow that had followed behind you. They're mainly like the guard Drow and stuff. They're not any ranked ones. You could tell they were more of, they weren't of a house or they weren't of any special whatever left through that tinted that I don't know what you would call it.
Yeah, I know.
Carriage and stuff.
Yeah.
That was somewhat probably a royalty, somewhat high power.
It probably would have been a priestess, right?
Priestess would be the highest, I would assume, right? Is the priestess the highest?
The mother is going to be the highest. The mother of the house.
So this is a good chance for me to learn my Drow history, Drow
from my limited knowledge.
lore. So basically, the mother. No, it wouldn't be the mother. That is correct.
Yeah.
It would be one of the sisters.
Yeah, well, usually like the daughters are. I mean, all of the Drow females are usually priestesses, and the mother is going to be like the high priestess kind of thing.
Oh.
But there's not going to be, I don't think, any male Drow that hold a high enough position that would justify being carried out.
No.
In a covered canopy type.
Yeah.
Thing. That would be a female, a higher ranking female, which all the female are higher ranking.
That's exactly
females,
what it was. Cool. So then I picked right.
Yeah, priestess. Yes.
Yeah, it was a priestess. Yep, that was leaving. You would assume that you would know about. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are in this chamber and stuff with everyone. The doors, they're banging at the doors and stuff, but however, you can hear just a lot of noise, a lot of shaking of this gigantic castle, and you can hear fighting going on within below. Yeah, you can hear that their attention has turned from you guys back toward the Methdoomers. They have broken free. It is somewhat of a chaos down there that you have started.
Yeah.
At one point, when you entered in, they wouldn't even look at Drow, And now they are raising arms against the Drow.
All thanks to my silver-tongued Drow friend.
I know. I didn't think I should have talked as him, But then I was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead. I'm starting to like. Part of this gameplay is learning how to play. I mean, I feel like I'm always learning how to play. Every time I watch a video, I always revamp myself. Every time I play, I always add something new. I take away some things, and every game is different, and so I'm constantly getting just doing different things. So it's a challenge because it's like I'm always. But what was I getting to?
You didn't think that you were going to talk as Ilzarin, but you realized that you needed to because...
Story-wise, yeah, because I was flowing with it and stuff, and I had an assumption of trying to push you to speak, but
I was too busy fighting.
Yeah, and I felt like, I don't know,
and
like...
they weren't listening to me.
Maybe Ilzarin, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ilzarin's the speaker and stuff,
Well, Ilzarin was being kind of a jerk, and I'm just like, if you got something to say, then go ahead and say it. I'm kind of busy trying to, cover our butts right now.
Yeah.
And they're not listening to me. I'm trying to be all dramatic and everything, and you're just like, what's it? It's so pathetic.
Jeez, you really hate Ilzarin. Gosh, let's go ahead and fix this up a little bit.
Actually, I just didn't like you last week as Ilzarin.
Oh.
You were being a jerk. Husband and wife team, everybody.
No. Like I said, we're all right. we don't fight.
No, we just fight through our characters.
No, through our characters. Depends. Sometimes we have good days, sometimes we have bad days and stuff, and I'm not too concerned. I know that we're going to have bad days and stuff. We still get along,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling her, I'm like, I didn't... Well, what happens sometimes is I'll play these videos. I think I've said it before. I'll play through these gameplays, and I'll say, as a DM, in my own perspectives, I don't feel like it ran well. I'm like, that wasn't... I felt like
it was fine. What are you talking about?
I wasn't happy with it. But then I watch it through, and this is why I recommend to a lot of people either recording your audio or video, recording your stuff, and listening it through. Because once I listened, I was like, oh, wow, I liked it. I enjoyed it. So I listened to a lot of my things that I've ran through, and I think it's part of my enjoyment. It comes from just listening back at it and stuff, and just being able to hear our interaction. But yeah, and then it gets me out of my head. I'm like, oh, cool, let's just keep moving on.
Yeah. It wasn't as awful as I pictured it when it was actually happening. How often does that happen to us, right? We're like, oh my gosh, that was so awful. And then when you actually stop and think about it, you're like, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yep, so I encourage you, if you're DMs and stuff and you're kind of having a hard day, one day, if you're having multiple hard days, I've had multiple hard days, and I think I needed to change the game. It was because we had so many players. And I was just I'm a very, I analyze people, and I kind of get a read from them. And when I feel like people are bored or they're not into the stories, then I kind of get brokenhearted, or I get oh man, I'm not having fun, because I want people to have fun. But yeah, so cool. You guys are outside the door, on the other side of the door.
Okay, so I'm thinking I want to be able to take at least a short kind of rest to try to get these guys somewhat recuperated.
Within the chamber that you're in, let me just go ahead and describe it, and then we can keep going with the rest. Within this chamber that you're in, so they're gigantic doors, and Kwando and Toggle have kind of somewhat pushed this lock up on it. Okay, within, as you turn around, you can see a couple steps going down. It's a big, giant, open hallway that cuts and turns, and then you can see what appears to be big, giant mounds, body mounds of candlesticks, somewhat candlesticks that are very askew. Okay, and at the top of the candlesticks, you can see what appears to be skulls. And they have a very light pink flame. So they'll give you somewhat of a light. Okay. To the chamber to the left of you, you can see it's very dark. And then just around one of these gigantic candlesticks, actually you can't see ahead of it. This is where you guys are at. Okay. So you said you wanted to take a long, I believe rest. You have a rest. Oh my gosh, I'm afraid of these new rules. Because we're gonna be playing through, and you're gonna be like, oh, I think this is a rule change.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna be spending more time reading the rules,
the new rules. Than I'm just looking at the different rests.
Yeah.
Okay, you can do a quick rest for 10 minutes. And
No matter what,
spend some
you can
rest
spend
points.
rest points through all the rest.
Okay.
Certain longer rest, which you're not doing,
Regain.
you'll be regaining stuff. But yeah, in the rest, you'll be spending rest to gain rest. And I believe the rest is 1 for 1 now. It used to be 2 for 2, but I believe they switched to 1 for 1.
Yeah, so for your hit point maximum, it's how many rest points that you have, which is kind of nice, actually.
Yeah. I know he buffed up, because that's what he was talking about the other day. I was asking, I was kind of curious, because I had just opened up the book and started reading it, and I went into the Death's Door, and I was like, gosh, now you can bleed on Death's Door. And originally, I think thought it was written that on the first round, you only get, what was it? You only get 1 action to spend. But then following that, you gain all your actions back, even though you're still on Death's Door. But I think maybe the wording was just a little weird. So, because originally I assumed that the Death's Door was fully 1 action every round. But then I went back and I read it a couple times just to make sure. Kwando kind of quickly pulls out of his bag what appears to be an old, disgusting meat. Okay, he starts it smells bad, and then he starts picking at it and starts biting.
Are you sure you should be eating that?
Steps up and he walks over to you and he says, "You should eat."
I'm gonna cook it.
I'm afraid that there's a lot of dangers in here.
I'm gonna cook it. And I also have shrooms and.
You have shroom. Isn't those ones the turning?
Well, I've got those, but I've also got other mushrooms, and I also have 5 days worth of food.
Okay. If you guys want to eat, if you guys eat during this, I'll give you 1 HP as well.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll change them over. Zara and Mod.
Okay.
Cool.
So, yeah. We'll have some food really quick.
Okay. What's your HP at right now?
Well, with that 1, it brings me up to 9.
Okay.
But I will probably go ahead and use this quick rest to bring it up
to 11 fully.
Actually, my max is 14 now.
Oh, now I have to do some editing.
I told you that last time.
Oh, okay. It's fine. So you're back up to what?
I'll bring it up to 14. What the heck? I may as well, right?
Okay. And then you're all the way at your... Okay, you're healed up fully then, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see if it does it. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, you guys are resting, taking it easy. Okay. Mm-hmm. The Methdoomer, he looks very confused. He says, I don't want to be here. Can I... And then he kind of checks the door. He keeps listening for the door to try to see if he can maybe go out back through the door and get out of there. Okay.
I just look at him dead in the eye and I say, you're safe with us. You are needed to be the savior of your people.
What?
Only you can wield the feather.
Ilzarin chimes in and he says, yes, we do. We need you.
Without you, this is all lost. And your people will all be destroyed.
They probably will be.
Yeah. Oh, I know they will be.
Because
that's
they
why we're
started
only
a revolt against the Drow.
Oh yeah, they're all gonna die.
The Drow. I mean, they didn't count on it. So, yeah. Like I said, you are in this chamber. Ilzarin kind of sits down and he takes some of the food that you guys have. Mm-hmm. He takes some of the meat that Kondo has and stuff. He then kind of just puts a little bit in his mouth and stuff. He's kind of looks really roughed up. He's shaking it off a little bit and he says, all right then, so we have to figure out where we need to take the feather, correct? He has a rough map of Methdoom. Okay, so he says, what I know about GalDoom is as far as this book has taken me. I was able to snag it when I went back into the Drow outpost. And I was looking for something else, but I only could grab what I could grab, and I grabbed this. But it's given me enough information about this somewhat place. It doesn't give me enough information. I've been reading through it. I've been collecting up information about things, about the feather, about the, but, and then he points to the candlesticks. He says, those we need to avoid.
Okay. Good to know.
For the best. He points toward the left and he says, over toward our left is the, is where the workers, the Methdoom workers are, and they live. Straight ahead is where the main chambers of the Drow, the worshipping chamber of Lolth, and then to the right is the collection room. He points to the right.
The collection room?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's where they keep their prize possessions.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd have to check that out.
Okay.
And you said we need to get this feather to...
I don't know where we need to get this feather out.
Oh, okay.
But we need
Well,
him.
then how do you know it wouldn't have worked if we just threw it down there?
Because I'm pretty sure that they used it like some kind of a key within a chamber to be able to bring the GalDoom up. What do you want from me? Do you want me to end this session like immediately?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. I look at the Methdoom little guy. Do you know where there'd be like a special chamber?
He says, I've never been in here. I don't know.
Isn't that where you live over there?
I don't live in there. We live in the slave chambers down below. That's the special quarters for those, the Methdoomers who are, see if I can pull out words out of my mind. It's basically the chamber where they keep a lot of the servants, Methdoom servants.
Okay, so it's like the higher ranking.
Yes,
gotcha.
pretty much. All the slaves and stuff pretty much sleep in like the lower areas.
Is there like nobody up here?
And with that, as you look over and look around and stuff, you can see what appears to be a door with a cut and a box open. A door with like a hole in it and stuff, okay? As you kind of look, you can see something moving around in the piles, okay? And then the head pops up. And a little creature kind of wiggles his way up. And it kind of looks at you. And it says, who are you? I like to do squeaky voices. Who are you?
We're the night crew.
And then he kind of says, no, you're not. You are trespassers. And he kind of looks over at the candles, the candle figurines and stuff through the chamber and stuff. And he goes over to his, there's a little candle on his stand. And he kind of goes to light it. And then he stops and he says, then tell me who you are. You can't be in here.
Why not?
And he says, I think you know why.
Well, I mean, the Drow obviously let us up here.
That is a lie.
Why do you say that?
I'm not telling the truth. Because I know everyone who comes in, and I know everyone who leaves. Everyone who enters and everyone who leaves. I know every single thing. I've been here for my whole life. And
good. Come here.
He kind of like scrambles so you can see through this little doorway and stuff where it's in. There's like a bunch of just fabric and cloths that are all over stacked up, and he kind of climbs in and crawls underneath. And then you can hear his voice. You can't see him anymore. He says to you, you won't touch me.
I won't hurt you.
You won't get very far at all.
Come here.
He looks like a rodent-esque kind of creature.
I'm going to hold a piece of the rancid meat out. Come here.
Oh my gosh, Christine.
I have animal handling.
That's it. Right? He's going to call on the...
Yeah, I'm going to roll for animal.
Run an encounter. Cool.
18.
With an 18, he kind of comes out and he says, I don't need your disgusting food.
Okay. I feed it to...
He says, what are you doing in here? You answer my questions or else I light the candle.
We're trying to free you.
What do you mean trying to free me? I don't need freedom.
I'm perfectly comfortable here.
Are you
Yes.
trapped in this moving castle? This prison of rock?
He says, I am perfectly
Alone.
content. I would rather learn about what you're doing here.
It's a revolution.
He kind of looks out the little hole of his door, and he can hear the clamoring, shouting, and stuff.
Take me to one of the windows. I want to see.
Okay.
He then looks at you and he says,
Has the time of the Drow come to an end in the city of Methdoom?
I just kind of grin with an evil grin. Yes. Their time is done.
All right.
and then he points in a direction this way to the left.
Best take the chambers to the left.
I'm taking it with us.
Yeah, he is. He's holding on to you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I want to see what is going on outside.
I'll lift him up and show him. Or wait, is there windows here? Probably
No,
not.
there's no windows in this area
okay.
right here. Yeah. Cool. Let's go ahead and do a stealth roll. As you're walking by these gigantic, like, candle-esque, mud-esque kind of creature. I don't even know how to describe them.
Golems that are ready to be lit. Okay, so I have an
They are lit.
advantage. Oh, they are lit?
Yeah, they are lit. They kind of slightly turn the... So basically, like I said, they are somewhat of a skull at the very top with a little bit of a flame, and their bodies are full, like, candle-esque, but, like, made out of mud. And their kind of bodies turn towards you. Their head turns towards you just ever so slightly, okay? As you are stepping.
Okay. Let's see. And for stealth, it's +5. So that's 24.
24.
24 non-natural. So I get advantage because I'm in my favorite terrain.
Awesome. Yep, you are able to kind of slip. You see a lot of like this, like kind of sludge all over the ground, and you kind of step around and avoid it. You lead up to what appears to be like some kind of hallway, and you go on up, and there's I shouldn't say an old rickety, but there's like a very heavy metal door and stuff, and you're going to go ahead and open it. So we're going to go ahead and, should I do skill challenges? It's been a while since I've done skill challenges.
Skill challenge.
Yeah, let's try to pull it open. And then he says,
Careful. Be very quiet.
Quando comes over and stuff and starts grabbing at the door to try to pull it open, help you pull it open.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not locked or anything?
It is not locked, no.
Okay, so we just have to pull. And
Yep.
Pull hard, essentially.
Yep, so you did a stealth roll. So your first one, that was a success. Your next one, you have to do, I don't know.
I don't think I have anything that would be useful for oiling hinges. So it's going to be a strength check. Or
Yep.
might. Just a straight might roll, or I guess athletics.
Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put the DC. It's all about being quiet, I would assume. So you're going to roll for strength. And I think Quando
Or
will...
would it be trickery for like sleight of hand?
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you an additional dice, okay? You're going to roll with an advantage because Quando is helping you.
Okay.
Okay? Let's do that.
Okay, that's 19.
With a 19, you are able to grab at the door. Quando grabs it too. You kind of try to pull it free without making any noises, okay? You can see these things are kind of turning their heads and kind of looking at you, and the bodies are lumbering up and standing fully. They are probably a bit bigger than you, okay?
Can't you like call these things off?
He says, no, I'm not in control of them. I can only make them come after you even faster.
Gotcha.
And with that, Quando kind of pulls at the door, and he kind of catches you. So you pull it, and it doesn't like make a loud noise. He catches it just enough. And with that, you guys have that door just enough open to slide everybody through. You guys go through and walk into the next chamber area.
Can I shut the door behind me?
Yeah, if you want to, yeah. You can go ahead and roll.
Would that, like, trigger them, or are they going to be following us through the door?
It's your choice if you want to. But yeah, go ahead and roll for that.
I'll leave
Good
it.
call. I would have made him.
But when the DM says, do you want to roll for that, then you quickly backtrack what you were talking about, because maybe I don't want to do that.
Yep. Okay. You start making your way through this chamber, all of you guys. And then you come to what appears to be like some kind of like fabric that comes down, and you push it open. And there you can hear a bunch of, before you go through, you can actually hear a bunch of Methdoomers talking. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, "What's going on out there? I don't know. There's lots of noise. And you creep in, and you can see them all standing by the window to the far end of this room. Oh, no, there is no window in this room.
We're going to pretend that there's a window in this room.
Yep. No, you've entered into like what appears to be their living quarters. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's like 3 of them, we'll say. Okay. One of them appears to be, oh, that's kind of interesting. One of them appears to be a guard-esque. He says, "Oi, stop." I always don't want to do oi. He says,
"Stop there. You can't go any further. Who let you in here?"
He kind of steps closer to you.
"You will pay. The Drow will cut your head out. Once they return, I will stop you."
They will not return.
He says, "You're wrong."
Am I?
There we go. Perfect. Awesome.
What's going on down there?
"It's none of your business. The Drow will return."
And then he kind of pulls out 2 swords. Okay?
Oh, dear.
Yeah. This is not going to be... So we're going to do a skill challenge. We're going to do a combat skill challenge, okay?
I just, like, cracked my neck, and I'm like, oh, if that's how you want to play the game, honey.
Okay.
And I'm just going to, like, take the little mouse rodent thing and the little scrimp rat.
No, he's not a scrimp rat.
Okay.
Gosh.
And just kind of, like, tuck him into my satchel.
He doesn't need to be tucked in the saddle. He can just go. He's like climbs off of you.
Okay. And I just draw my swords. Let's dance.
Quando and Toggle are also there with you. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's go ahead and roll for a skill challenge, please. I'm gonna put a DC. Might as well put these guys in here. Zarin is kind of has his book. What are you using for your first skill? Okay. He then snarls at you, and he's yelling at you that you shouldn't be here, and he's not afraid to challenge, to come after you and stop you guys. Okay?
We're just trying to get to the window.
Go ahead for your first one. What are you trying to do?
I will try to influence him.
Gotcha. What are you saying? Ilzarin says to you, he says, "Look, Zira, these Methodoomers are cursed. Their blood has been poisoned by the Drow. That no matter what, when they die, they are poisoned. So they have no purpose in this. They are pretty much traitors of Methdoom."
All of them in here?
No, not all of them, just the guards.
Okay. Listen, we're just trying to pass through and finish our mission. So, like...
"I don't care about your stupid mission. I am part of the Drows. They expect me for certain things, and I will not let you through."
Okay, so it was an 11 for him.
It was an 11. Okay, cool. And with that, he then charges at you, and he is going to do a scratch. It's going to do 1 damage to you. Okay.
Did he even roll for attack?
Christine, this is a skill challenge.
Okay.
You failed the skill challenge.
Yeah, that's true.
This is not a battle.
It's always a battle. Okay, well, I'm going to retaliate this attack then.
Okay.
And just like jumps
Okay.
off.
Yep, he slashes at you. You not take it serious, so now he is going at it.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to dance? Let's dance.
Toggle kind of steps back a little bit. He says, "Oh, you got this or what?" Quando steps forward and stuff. He has his hook ready, and Zarin is kind of like he's at a distance because he's not a fighter. Okay.
Let's fight.
Yep, let's do it.
Ooh, do I get any help from anybody?
You didn't have any help dice on any of them. Sorry.
How do I get help dice on again?
Whenever you roll successful on a skill challenge.
I did on the stealth.
I don't think I made that one a skill challenge. I think I kind of.
Did.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
I'll change my mind later.
Yeah, after it doesn't matter. That's a 10.
Okay, cool. And with that, he then. I'm curious because I used to have all the abilities. Let's see. Yeah, he is going to go ahead and slash at you. You go to move the blade around and try to get him. What are you saying to him as you're trying to fight with him?
Just get out of our way.
Your blade hits the floor and stuff. He kind of dips around and then he scratches you across your face. So you can take another 1 damage. Okay.
That hurt.
Condo's like, Zira, what's going on here? This should be a simple battle.
I don't see you doing anything.
He then rolls. He's going to roll base for the last skill challenge. Okay. Oof, gosh. And with that, he throws his rope, and the Methdoomer kind of quickly lowers his head back, and it goes right over him, okay? And then he grabs Quando's rope, okay? And he's hissing,
I said you won't best me. You better kill me then.
and yeah. No go for Quando. Okay. Last one. Did not do so good.
No,
This
we
is-
are not doing good. All right. Let's do an acrobatics. I'm going to flip over him. And then stab him in the back on the other side.
No go.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go ahead and do this. You go to try to do some acrobatics. You charge at him. He then quickly charges towards you, and then his arms wrap around, and he scratches. And then you're going to take another damage. And Quando quickly pulls his rope free, swings it around, throws it back, wraps it around his throat, and then pulls him back and slams him to the ground. And then he ropes him up. And then Quando says,
You shut up, okay? We're going through if you like it or not.
okay.
Damn it. Zira. That was a good rope, and now it's tied him up. Now I have to use my other one.
I chop its head off.
Oh, gosh.
It's tied up. It can't do anything.
Yeah.
There's your rope back.
He pulls his rope free.
I just stalk past it, wiping the blood from my face.
As you do that, it hardens up and stuff, and it like crust over. Okay. Cool. You guys move on. Continue on through the chambers.
I'm like dabbing at my injuries.
I was curious to run through. Awesome. All the other Methdoomers are kind of scared and confused about what's taking place as you continue on. Okay, you go on to the next chamber, and with that, you then see what appears to be some gigantic windows. You see what in this room. I put a lot of detail in these rooms. I kind of drew these up real quick and stuff. I should say I drew it up real quick, but I drew them up. I usually make maps and everything, but I'm not going to go into too much. It's
No.
simple. You go into what appears to be somewhat of a kitchen. Okay. You can see a bunch of Methdoomers that are sitting at the windows, servant Methdoomers sitting at the windows. The Methdoomers, they wear like covers over their heads and their faces and stuff to kind of, so that they don't look at the Drow and the Drow don't look at them. The Drow doesn't have to look at them. And you can then see the creature crawls off of your back and he makes his way over toward, let me see if I have a creature. start with a couple tokens, and then they grow and grows and grows. I have like a bunch of them. I try not to. There's too many. Let's do that one. That one will work for now. He crawls over toward the window and stuff, and he looks out. And you can see what appears to be fighting going on down below. This is far, far down below. This is probably about 100 feet down. This is how high you guys are.
We climbed 100 feet up.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. And then Ilzaran says something to you. He says, a lot of the Methdoomers, they don't know anything about freedom. It's been a couple generations since they've ever actually even seen their god. So a lot of them, their servitude has been their life. And that's all they know.
It's time that they know something different.
Alright then, should we move on? Like I said, there's this kitchen full.
Well, we need the rat.
He comes back to you and he says,
All right, then. What have you done? What are you doing?
Giving people hope.
Can you elaborate?
We have the feather of Methadon.
I've heard of the Feather of Methdoom.
We're going to use it to destroy this prison. And
I shouldn't say I know of the feather. I know
Free.
of the god of Methdoom.
well, we have one of
I've
his
heard
feathers.
tales of a city that was beautifully lit by a creature of great stature.
And the city will be restored to its glory. But first, we must cleanse it of the Drow infection. Better
Doesn't
start.
sound like you really like the Drow, do you?
Does anybody?
um,
I mean, you might tolerate the Drow because to not like get along with the Drow means to be their slave. But does anybody really like the Drow? Like friends, buddy with the Drow? Name one species.
The Drow's control is all we know. It's somewhat of a peace for us. Or else we fear what else is out there.
But do you like them?
Well, of course we don't like them.
Exactly, my point. Nobody likes the Drow. Nobody should be slaves.
Ilzarin kind of is like stepping a little bit forward and stuff. I warn you, and then he says, the chambers beyond, they might have an area where you cannot pass. Zira.
Care to elaborate a little bit more?
He points to himself and he says, because you are not a follower of love, you cannot enter.
What about Quando?
And he's like, I don't even know who the Lolf is. Well, I've heard of it.
I think he would know who Lolf
Yeah,
is.
he says-
If he's dealing with the Drow
He says,
on
I
a
have
regular
nothing.
basis.
He says, I myself stay far away from that cursed god.
So, are the only ones who can pass through you and Toggle?
And then Toggle doesn't look up at you. And then he says,
What do you mean?
I just look at him and I say, don't think I haven't noticed your ink.
he says,
I don't pass nowhere. I'll wait outside with you.
So I have to trust Ilzarin.
I mean, you can try.
Okay, so what exactly are we looking at here? Like, is it some kind of like force field, or is it like an alarm system, or like?
He basically explains to you that it is like holy ground.
Oh.
And if you step into that holy ground, you will face unspeakable dangers.
Okay. Just
you
like
will
every
feel,
day of my life.
You will feel a great pain.
The wrath of Lolth.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay. Well, who amongst our party could go there without facing?
I might be able to help you.
Okay, the rat can.
I'll give him a name. His name is Can.
Can?
Don't you dare. That's like, I regret that name then. Let me take that back. Toucan.
Toucan can. Okay. So, Toucan.
Yes.
And
I can help you.
our
I have
Methdoomer friend.
If we can get across the way, there are robes that the Drow wear that might be that might allow you to pass through.
So my green disguise hoodie is not enough of a disguise.
I didn't know you were wearing a disguise. I thought you were a Methdoom.
I'm saying this hypothetically.
No, it is not.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, yes. No. Of course I'm a Methdoomer. What are you talking about? Just because none of us can actually touch the feather of Methadon. He is obviously the chosen one.
Okay.
So we have to pass through the unpassable chamber.
See Toggle is too happy about this, what's called, but yes. It is pretty much like somewhat of like a church-esque kind of thing. Okay. Sacred ground.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Ilzarin can... Gosh, I don't trust him, though. He can go through and get us the robes, yeah. He can pass through safely and get us the robes. And then...
I don't think so.
Bless you.
Thank you. Cool.
So wait, so we have to go through the chamber that I can't go through in order to get to the robes, so that way I can pass through the chamber I can't pass through?
Let me just pass it, move out. I think we're all confused.
I'm very confused.
I'm very, very confused. All right. Cool. So basically what we have, let me go ahead and move my wand around real quick. So what we have is that you have moved in toward the main entrance area. The main entrance area, the hallway, the grand hall, there is a bunch of candlesque figures that are through this main area. Wherever they are, wherever it's like lit up pink a little bit is where they somewhat are, okay? And you are in somewhat of the kitchen and somewhat of the staff area, okay? You need to go and pass all the way through to the other side here to get into. This is basically where the prized possessions are from the Drow. It's not really their treasure. It's more of their, like, look what I've done kind of thing, trophy room. And then past that is somewhat of a lounge area, okay? That's where he was saying that the jackets are, okay? Now, in this main chamber right here is Lolth chamber, okay? So if you go into it, you will feel the effects. I think it would be like an umbral effect upon you, I think. Like some kind of like damage that you'll be taking as you're going in here, because you are not, you don't have like the blessing of Lolth to enter, okay? Cool.
Is that elemental damage?
I don't know what it would be.
Oh.
No, it's not elemental damage. You were just trying to get away with everything. You're saying, I think we're ready to go out for dinner tonight.
I have juice. I got the juice, okay?
I'm looking at your stuff to see, like, what can I do to make this easy for myself? I told you. I was like, hey, we're going to run through this.
Okay, so basically I have to backtrack. We have to backtrack our way down, get over to the lounge area without triggering the Candlemen.
Yes, correct. Got to go through.
And into there.
Correct.
Is there anything worth pillaging and plundering in the trophy room?
There could be.
Okay. And then we have to go through that giant chamber to get to, I'm guessing, the purpley blue area over there.
Yes. Let me see if I can. Yeah. So basically, this is Ilzarin kind of puts it out for you. He puts out the map in the book. He shows you the layouts. And yeah, this is the Lulth chamber. Let me just use my. Oops. Sorry, guys. This is the Lulth chamber, the worshipping chamber. Okay. There's a stand right here. Then if you go over to the direction to the right, there is the dining, the main dining for Drow and the living quarters. Okay. And then these are this you don't know about too much. Okay. He doesn't know about or anything. Okay. He doesn't know what the heck. He would assume that it's for the high. This is where high chambers that nobody is allowed to go into.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's another way over here to this direction that it has an outside exit that is somewhat like of a walkway, and that comes back in. Okay. So you have the two options to go. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You got it?
Yes. So robes first. Let's do it.
Robes first. You're gonna cut through the way. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're making your way. I like to try not to get out of the maps. I don't like to get too much into maps because they just take away so much from story. You go through and stuff. You can see a bunch of Methdoomers inside of the main kitchen, the cooking area and stuff. Okay. You see what appears to be a big giant fella and then stuff that looks over at you. He looks to be like the cook. He's very big. He's very somewhat ugly looking and stuff. And he kind of like yells at you as you're kind of passing through. He says, "Oh, hey, where you coming from?" And then he yells at Takan. "Takan, you let him in here. What is wrong with you? The Drow will have our heads." And then Takan says,
Well, then they can have our heads. It'll be on me. And it's about time that I got out of that stupid room.
and then the big chef dude, he's like,
You better hope that everything goes right with whatever the heck you're doing.
I'm assuming you're carrying the box and stuff. And then the big chef fella looks at you and he says,
What is that?
For Methdoom.
he steps closer to you and he says,
What?
For Methdoom.
Ilzarin looks at you and he says,
Zira, just show him the darn feather.
Okay.
You open up the box and there he sees it.
For Methdoom.
And he says,
Our freedom.
Is that? Oh no.
Is that method?
Yes.
He kind of steps closer and he says,
I haven't seen that color in years.
As he steps closer to it, you can see his body kind of glowing a little bit, his hands glowing.
What are you doing here?
Getting our freedom. Our freedom from oppression. Our freedom from the Drow. It is time
he
that
says
we
to you,
take
Are you
Methdoom
raising
back.
GalDoom?
Raising it and destroying it.
Do you know what the feather can do? Do you know how they brought it here?
Nope. Do you?
Then you're wasting your time if you don't know what you're doing.
Ilzarin chimes in and he says,
Well, of course she doesn't know what she's doing.
he says,
Is there any alive who
And
was
we are-
here when it was brought? Does anybody know?
he says,
I was but a lad. When they brought me in this chamber, I saw one of the feathers fall apart
So
and kill one of the drows instantly. When they tried to take control of it,
so you know where it needs to go.
yes, I do. I've
Good.
seen it before.
Come with us. Another NPC.
oh gosh, that's what I get.
We can leave Toucan here if you want.
No, they're all going to go. We'll
Cool.
see how all this goes. This is going to be a skill challenge to get past this candle guy. Okay. I'm going to tell you this. This is going to be a skill challenge into combat if you fail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Of course it is.
So let me just process my mind real quick because I want to do skill challenges that get harder and harder. Should I? Gosh.
Chocolate.
Yeah, the chocolate hit me pretty hard.
Oh, I hate that. It gets stuck in the back of your throat.
Okay, so as he's kind of moving around, he's talking to you and telling you about yeah, he doesn't recall GalDoom. He can't remember because he was so young, but he remembers him and his mother being brought into this chamber and having to serve them. And he, like, you can see a bunch of lashings all over his body and all over his face of what has been done to him, you know? And he has grown up in this place and stuff. He has, he tells you about, like, how he had to clean up the roof from the Drow that tried to take the feather or whatever and stuff, and it was instantly killed.
Can Kwando be collecting food from the kitchen while we're talking?
Let's
Since
go ahead and
Kwando
start.
is very food oriented.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and roll for that. Kwando.
Do you want me to do it? Survival?
No, yeah, let's see your skills. I'd rather
Cool.
just do your skills and stuff.
All right, so can I... Oh, let's see. How... Does he care? Do you care if I take some food?
Of course, I don't care anymore.
Oh, cool. So I'm going to use a... so I guess survival check to pick the best food.
Yep. You got you.
9.
Nice.
What is going on with my dice?
I know you got like low rolls.
I
Cool.
have a couple of decent rolls right off the bat, and then like
He tells you that the shipment of the food that usually comes in hasn't come in a while. You're able to kind of pull out like a couple fruits, strange looking fruits, and that's just about it. Okay, so we'll do 4 black apples.
black apples. Are they good?
Yeah, they're good apples.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
what do you want?
Well, usually when apples are black, then they're
No,
not
no, no.
super good. Okay, so
Oh, they're
4
Yep,
apples. Cool.
that's how I create my food in the Underdark. Just make it black.
Gotcha.
It's a black apple. It's a black chocolate. It's dark chocolate.
It glows green.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so
You guys continue on toward this main hallway. As you get to what appears to be the door, you kind of open it up and you can see a pretty good size creature, mud-esque creature that's standing. Like I said, to the top of his head is a skull, and its kind of head kind of curls and slightly moves and turns and looks at you. Okay. I wish I did have it. And let's do a skill challenge. What are you gonna do? You're gonna try to get past it.
yes, I'm gonna try
Okay.
to get
All of
past.
you guys are actually gonna try to get past it.
Yes.
How many of them are there of you guys? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's
5 and 1. Oh no, 6. 6 and a
of
rider.
you. Yeah, 6 of you guys.
6 and a rider.
Cool. Let's just roll 6 dice for stealth. All right.
I swear.
Oh my gosh. Well, we gotta play the dice sometimes. You know what I mean? 2, 4. So 6. Let's go. Cool. Okay. Ilzarin just runs and he passes as fast as he can. When he passes across, let me see. I actually have. Let's do this. Cool. Ilzarin runs past and gets past. All of a sudden, its arm kind of lifts up and it then slunks and smashes down on the ground. You can see a lot of this stuff kind of like smash up to the walls. And then the flame starts trickling and getting a little bit bigger. Okay. And then Kwando kind of runs over. Let's not do Kwando first. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Well, who's the red die?
It is Taken. Token.
Well, no, because he's riding on one of us.
Okay, so I'll get rid of him then.
Well, no, because you got the Methdoomer and you got the chef.
You're
and then
right.
4 of
Well, then I'll
us.
call him the Methdoom then.
Okay.
The
cool.
Methdoom had followed right along with Ilzarin and crossed the way. So it happens when you have too many NPCs. Gosh.
Toggle's not
The
looking
world
so
is
good.
broken. Huh?
Toggle.
No, none of you guys did good at all. This is all bad.
Yeah,
Let's
no
play out the
kidding.
dice. Cool. Gosh. this was basically the skill challenge was majority of you guys successful. Majority of you guys didn't do successful.
No.
Cool. With that, all of a sudden you guys race past. Ilzarin kind of charged forward, and Toggle. All of a sudden, as this thing smashes to the ground, Toggle quickly runs as fast as he can and tries to jump over it. And with that, all of a sudden, its back and its body morphs up and catches Toggle right up in the air and then pulls it down to the ground. Okay. Quando then charges over and tries to throw his rope to try to split this thing in half, and it goes right into it. Okay.
So it's like a mud monster?
And then...
Or like a wax?
Yes.
Wax monster?
Yep.
Cool.
No, I'm not saying anything. It's not a nothing. Okay. And then... I'm just going to pop it right here. Okay, let's go. Trajectory jag. There he goes. Cool. 1, 2. You guys, you all three are in the middle. The rest of the NPCs, they've made their way to across the chef and the Methdoomer. Okay. And let's go ahead and roll for initiative. You guys didn't do so good.
Oh, we did horribly.
Yep. We'll see how this all goes.
What do we add to it? We add
Sorry,
the prime?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, 17.
17. Okay, and then I got a cool 12, so not so good. Okay, so you get to go first.
Cool.
Yep.
So I'm going to do...
I didn't expect to go into a combat today.
Yeah.
I have it just in case. I have a couple things just in case.
Okay. Hunter's
Okay.
mark.
Toggle is like wrestling in this thing and trying to pull itself out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Quando is kind of like upset. Ilzarin is kind of like, he kind of looks frustrated at the circumstance, okay?
He's always frustrated with this circumstance.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to Hunter's mark this thing.
Okay, you are focused on it.
And then I am going to use an action, a minor action to... do I want to do that? Maybe not. No, just Hunter's mark. Okay. Attack with a Hunter strike. That's another stamina point.
Okay.
And with the attack, I'm also going to give myself advantage because I have not been rolling well. Okay.
Just put oh. Yeah, you said you haven't been rolling. Okay.
Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a slash attack. $11.
11 is going to be a base hit.
Okay, well, thankfully I hit it.
Yep.
So, 1... Oh, wait, I get an extra advantage. Because it has Hunter's mark.
Mm-hmm.
Which does... Wait, yes, it does. No, I thought that was a 1 for a second. That's a 7.
It's not a good hit.
So 13.
13.
Mm-hmm.
You said that is just a regular hit.
Okay, so... Okay. So he's going to go ahead. He's going to take 3 damage, 2 of which are going to be corrosion damage.
2 of those. I'm assuming the other one is slashing.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And then he needs to make an agility save for me.
Yep. I can do that. Ooh, not so good. So it's going to be a 9.
Okay, so he is now slowed.
Okay.
He has the slowed condition until the end of my next turn. Okay, and then I'm going to use a final action to throw a rope to try to get Toggle out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So, would that be an acrobatics check? Or a sleight of hand?
Let me see what I got. Don't look at the stats too much. Okay. Let me see if I can't put it on here. Let's see.
Muck Methdoom Guard, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
I said don't read the stats. Okay, cool.
I didn't read the stats. I read its name.
It's
It's like right there.
Cool.
Okay, anyway.
Yep, you're doing what? So you basically attacked it first with your hunter's
Right,
right. You did a bunch of damage. You slashed at it.
Yes.
And with that slash, you can see all of a sudden parts of his hand kind of breaking off and then falling into the ground where it has a lot of its mud mixture and stuff. And then all of a sudden, another arm is starting to form out of it.
Yeah,
out of
that tracks. That tracks. But I'm trying to get Toggle out of there. What do you want me to roll?
So Toggle is in the mix of it.
Right. So I'm throwing a rope.
You're throwing a rope.
Let's try to get out of there.
Good question. Let's just go ahead and go for a survival maybe or something.
Okay. I quit. 10.
This was meant to be. Awesome. You fling the rope at it, and it quickly grabs the rope and stuff in the mud, and is starting to pull at you. It is not. Toggle is kind of like his head is sticking out, but his body is like fully in there. He's like,
The heck, Zira? Get this stupid thing off me!
Working on it.
It's going to go over toward its turn. Let me just pull out my action dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. It is going to use an action. Let's see, 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
So
Cool.
what is it doing?
It's going to go ahead and attack.
Okay, yeah. Tell me what you're doing.
It's going to. I know. I'm trying to figure out everything real quick first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. And I'm like, I need to know what you're using if I want to.
I will
defend.
explain it. I'm getting to that.
Well, you were like picked up your dice like you're ready to roll.
I am. I'm gonna get to roll. Okay. I am attacking you. I'm gonna go ahead and get. So all of a sudden, his hand forms back up, and then it becomes like a ball, and it then just throws it in your direction. So you are 2 spaces away, I would say. No, you're up against it.
Yeah,
You're
right
up
up on him.
It's gonna chuck it right at you. Okay. And it is going to roll for that attack.
It's gonna have a. Does it have a no? I'm trying to think. Ranged attacks. Do they have a disadvantage?
It is not. It can utilize its sludge as a ranged or a melee. Or in range. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna sidestep.
Okay.
To give you disadvantage.
Gotcha. So I have to roll for twice. That's gonna be the highest is going to be a 9.
No.
No go. It threw all of it. Let's call it. It goes flying over your head and smashes into the ground. Okay. You can see it harden up and stuff, and it smashes some of the blocks and stuff that make up the castle. Cool. And then it's going to go back over toward your turn. I'm going to say this. Quando is going to go ahead and he is going to pull his rope. It's going to fall to the floor. And then he says, "Come on, you big beast. I'm going to knock that stupid skeleton off your head." And he wings it around. And then he then throws his pickaxe. And then, so he's going to use 1, 2 action and then to strength it. Let's see if he strengthened it out. Yeah, he strengthened it out. Pulled his rope out. And then he's gonna go ahead and throw his rope. Let's see how it does. And tries to hit the skull. It is going to hit. So this thing is going to take. Cool. As it hits it, and it wraps somewhat around, but then it starts molding into the mud. The skull is kind of somewhat offset a little bit, and the flame blazes bigger and stuff. And the body starts moving more. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. There you go.
All right. Well, let's see. I still got the rope, and he's pulling on him, right?
Yeah, it's pulling on it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to pull the rope out of his hands.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do an athletics check.
It's kind of like melded into the mud. It's not in his hand. It's more melted in the body.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's better. 18.
18. Yep. So you're gonna pull it free.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and roll mine. We're gonna martial check. I'll add my strength might. Is it 18?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You go to pull it, and then it just locks in. Like, you cannot pull this rope. You can see wherever the rope is sticking out of, it's hard. It's hardened. It's like solid stone, almost.
Okay. Well.
That was one action, right?
Yeah, that was one action to do that. Okay, I'll just I'll go ahead and I don't think fire would do much against it. I might do, okay, I'll do a firebolt attack below where Toggle is.
Okay.
So I'll attack and I will give myself advantage. There we go. 24.
24.
Non-natural.
Okay. That's going to be a brutal hit.
Cool. So that's going to be 2, 4, 4 fire damage.
4 fire damage. Awesome. Cool. And with that, as you go and you pull out your flame out from in your hand, and it kind of spins around, and then you just wave your hand at it, all of a sudden the fire that is in your hand, some of it hits its body, but some of it goes straight over to where its head is, where it has all the pink flame, and your fire then turns toward pink. And you can see all of a sudden this thing grow stronger, and with that, you are now in difficult terrain. Okay.
Okay, did it soften the mud around Toggle at all?
Toggle is somewhat freer. His lower body is a little bit free.
Okay, yeah, I kind of figured flame was a bad idea, but I had to try.
Yeah, it takes basically, I'll put it on there. I'll put it on you. It takes half damage on fire, and then it also can activate its ability to be able to make rough terrain for you. So now, yeah.
Okay.
Cool, is that it for you?
Yes.
Let's go and do it again. Let's capture. Actually, we're going to go ahead and spend 2 actions, and then let's go ahead and do we're going to, against me, because it's going to try to grapple you. And it has advantage because it is large. It is one size larger than you.
I'm going to sidestep it.
You can't sidestep a grapple. You have to, I don't believe you can sidestep a grapple. It's basically, it's me versus you, my strength versus your.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a martial check.
Okay, so it's against my martial?
Correct. Double check on the rolls if you want to, okay? But I'll go ahead and roll because I'm a size bigger, I have advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to be a 20. This might be a fun one. I kind of started to work on making this creature, and I just, it's hard to, like, you have to spend the day to kind of work on it and add to it. But I started making it and was adding flavors. I just didn't get to finish it, but I'm really curious. I think I'm kind of enjoying it, of playing this monster. The way that the mechanics work on it. So you guys find it on DC Crit, then it's a rough put together. So, and forgive me if I am not all there. I had to wake up at 3 o'clock this morning, so I'm ready for dinner.
Yeah, you're ready to quit. I'm just there's so many, like.
It is going to be under grapple, if I'm correct.
Well, I mean, I searched grapple, but there's like a
bazillion grapples. Yeah.
Grappler.
Yeah. So you're gonna go ahead and do a martial check against me, okay?
Yeah.
Use your martial, whatever. I rolled the 20.
I did not. You've got me.
Cool. All of a sudden, the stuff that's all around you, the mud that's all around you, starts forming up around your legs, and then all of a sudden it turns into like a solid kind of stone. It is like you can feel it hurting your legs, and you cannot move at all. You have 0 movement. Okay. So you also will be taking a disadvantage on your attacks because your feet are now.
Yes.
What's it called? Yeah. Cool. That was that, and then it is going to do a sludge attack with an advantage because you are grappled by it. Oh, good job. So that was a 7.
Do not hit me somehow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm curious because it has an advantage. I didn't give it advantage. It already had an advantage. So bad. Even with that advantage, it rolled terrible. Cool. As you quickly just fall back and avoid the sludge that flies over your head. Okay. This does not look good. It doesn't look too bad. Quando is going to try to I think he's going to try to climb up this thing, and then he is going to try to grab Toggle and pull him out. Okay, so he's using all of his actions. He's going to use a me versus martial check versus Quando. So Quando is going up against the Candlesque creature. Okay, so Quando will be the purple die. Where's my purple die at? That will do. So Quando and the creature. Creature has a +4. Quando has a +4 as well. So Quando obviously, and Quando quickly climbs up this creature and grabs Toggle and stuff. He's fighting it as it tries to grab in the mud, wraps and tries to grab Quando. Quando is constantly, and then he grabs Toggle, just come on, and he pulls Toggle, and then he's gonna go ahead and throw Toggle across the way because Toggle is pretty. I shouldn't say pretty hurt, but he's. He's.
I know. I didn't get a chance to heal him.
He should probably save up his strength a little bit.
I was gonna heal him, and then the rat came and interrupted everything.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and just stop this combat so that you can.
I can heal him because I didn't.
We'll go into that. Okay.
Okay.
I won't not putting too much on it. Cool. He is free. It is going to go into your turn.
Okay. Cool. I am going to shoot this thing in the flaming skull with my bow and arrow. Okay. It's got me, so I'm being held steady. Haha. No. Well, actually, how close am I to this thing?
How close are you? Think you're one space away. You're next to it. So yeah, you're gonna take a disadvantage for trying to shoot a arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because I'm shooting up, right?
Yep.
Because it's large.
You're just gonna take a disadvantage because you're shooting an arrow because you can't shoot it in melee range.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna do that. I'm going to do my hunter's strike on it. Give myself advantage.
You're slashing at it, you said? Or?
No, I'm firing an arrow.
Okay, so you have a disadvantage on it, I believe.
Right, but I have an advantage with Hunter's Mark.
Gotcha.
And I'm giving myself another advantage.
Okay.
And I'm powering it up, and I have Hunter Strike on it. Okay, so again, a 24.
24. That is going to be a brutal hit.
Mm-hmm.
You're slashing, right?
No, I'm firing an arrow.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
I don't know. At the skull.
I gotcha.
Okay. Go ahead. It's going to be, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 damage.
Gosh.
4 piercing and 2 poison.
Okay.
And then go ahead and make a might save for me.
That's going to be a 14.
That's going to fail. You're going to be impaired now.
Impaired. Gosh. Okay. You didn't have to roll for that.
Hmm?
I didn't have to roll for that as your
Yeah,
arrow goes through.
Oh.
And just obliterates the skull. All of a sudden the flame quickly snuffs out. And then it just masses down to the ground. Okay. As it falls off you. Yep. Gosh.
Well, now we know what the weak spot is.
For the most part. It really depends. Also, this creature, if you're aiming for... I'm curious to play how it plays out. But basically, if you were to fire the arrow and you're aiming for the skull, it will reduce the hit by 1. So basically, if you hit a brutal, but I reduce the damage by 1 because now that you're trying to target the skull, it's a harder target, and it goes down to.
Okay, well, that's not PDR, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it ignores my first attack.
No, PDR. It's not PDR. It's not any PDR stuff. No, I kind of got rid of all the PDRs. I don't run PDR. I haven't learned about PDR, so
yeah,
I haven't utilized it much, and I feel bad because my wife has PDR abilities.
Yeah.
Which I think I have to read the rule books and stuff and get more into it if they still have it going on.
Yeah, I don't even know if they still have PDR because I know before it was like it's only damage reduction if it's a regular hit. It doesn't count towards a heavy hit or brutal. So it would like cut it. What was it? In half, round it up or something like that.
I like the weakness is the skull, but like I said, if you hit it, then it reduces it down 1. You know what I mean? So it goes from being a brutal hit to a heavy hit, or a heavy hit to a normal, or a normal until a miss. You know. So if you try to aim at which may be fun, we'll see. Cool. Yep, it falls to the ground, and you guys are safe. And Ilzarin says, "Come on, then let's get going." Before the other one comes.
Let's go run into the room, and then we'll pause the game there so we can go get some food.
Yeah, you make it into this chamber, and with that, you then see a bunch of like cloaks that are hanging on the wall, and all of a sudden you hear a voice saying, help me, please, help me get out of here. And it sounds like a little girl.
I don't know if I trust this. I'm gonna look over at
Ilzarin.
Toucan. Well,
yeah.
Ilzarin, Toucan, and what's the chef's name? Chef. Just chef.
Mm-hmm. You look into the other room as well as you look over to them and stuff. They kind of whisper at you. They say, "That is correct. It is a trick.
Okay.
It is a creature that you do not want to." And as you look over, you see a gigantic cage, and you see what appears to be a little Methdoom girl inside of the cage. Okay. And it is somewhat of like a shifter. They tell you that it's some kind of shifting creature. It is like gigantic monster, and it has a base intelligence, and it will try to,
like mimic and trick. Yeah,
pretty much.
That sounds fun. Let's go fight it.
No. And with that, as you step on the stone and it slides down, the cage clicks and it opens. I won't go there yet.
No, because I'm not really good.
We'll see for the next. Yeah. Yep. Thanks for joining us. Hope we are doing well. Like again, I said, my words are all like
hope everyone
this way,
is doing
one word's
well.
going that way. And so
we will see everybody next week.
Yeah, next week.
We're not going to be doing anything this Friday.
Yep.
We're aiming for next Wednesday. It will probably be a later game again, but it will be fun. And I believe not this week Friday, but next week Friday, we should hopefully have our main group.
Hopefully have our main group. We'll have our main group. I know we will have them soon and stuff. I really enjoy playing with our big group, and then it alleviates the grunt of my wife having to kind of like do all the damage, do all the talking, and me like having to do all the NPC. Like here's an NPC, here's an NPC, here's an NPC. I'm like, oh my gosh, kill it.
It's fun getting to play together, but it's definitely it's not meant to be a one-on-one game. So it's a lot more fun having other players involved as well. But yes, we are excited to be getting back to that. And then don't forget, May 31st.
Yeah, May 31st, the paranoia gameplay, Alzheimer's disease versus
RPGs.
RPGs versus Alzheimer's disease. Yeah. So we're excited for it. We got some things fun planned. Please go contribute to the fundraiser. That's the link that's on our page. And put toward anything. Doesn't matter. It can be $1. You will affect our game, and it will be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Put toward more money, and then you'll be able to create more of a story. So it's all in the benefits. It's all for donations for a good cause.
Yep.
So yeah, go out, just go follow the link and do that. If you're curious about DC20, we have another link as well. Go get your PDF and learn how to play and follow on with us and find a group that you can play with. But yeah.
Don't forget to say hi.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Say hi in the comments. We always
Yeah.
appreciate everything. So
Yeah, we do. We appreciate it. We are. I mean, I'm totally fine just hanging out and playing.
yes.
Someone, I think we go back and forth because it is exhausting to play without the other players. But we have a different way of playing. Just me and my wife, and usually I try to make it more story driven, but we also do combat. And I enjoy the combat. I try to balance it out. I try not to play too many NPCs during combat.
You probably need me to play more of the NPCs during combat because you have the meta knowledge of like how you can actually defeat this thing.
Yeah.
And I don't.
I think I give it away to you from some of the characters and the way that they move, the NPCs move.
Oh yeah,
but-
definitely. I would not have thought about the skull on the head until Quando.
Yeah, I'm surprised you never think about those things. I'm like, this is pretty obvious. Like, there's a skull, and it's like the rest of the body is a candle. Like you
Put
would,
out the flame, yeah.
yeah, yeah. My wife's logic is not very logical. That's why I like
No.
I like the other players sometimes. I'm like, yes, you got it.
Yes.
How could you? You know what I mean?
I mean, I feel
My
like
wife's
I
kinda
can
like,
read the. Well, I read some things better than others,
Yeah.
but yeah, some things it's
Yeah.
just like I don't know. That seems too obvious to me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And you're like, no, it's just that obvious, Christine. Like, just go with it. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful rest of your
Yeah.
evening. We will see y'all next week.
Somebody's ready to go eat.
I am ready to go eat, aren't you?
I am. I can eat whenever. But yes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, like and subscribe. Join us. Join us in our next game
Yep.
usually every Wednesday and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right. Have a good night.